largest metropolitan area, as Trump's Pentagon has just dropped not one but two F-18 fighter jets into the sea. Just slipped right off the aircraft carrier, and oops, that's gone. Nevertheless, in true kleptocratic fashion, the dear leader has his plane. He has just arranged for himself, as Senator Schatz was just talking about there, he has just arranged for himself a gift of a $400 million plane for himself that he wants to use while he's president, and then he plans to keep using it himself after he leaves the presidency as well. As if he's ever planning on leaving the presidency. For us, the public, we've got, airline CEOs emailing customers today saying, oh, God, geez, this air traffic control thing, woo, please keep flying. We swear we're being as safe as we can. That's what the public is contending with. But, what does Trump care? He's getting his own $400 million personal plane as a gift from a foreign country that he's going to go do some deals with as president of the United States, heading out today on this big Middle Eastern trip. I mean, for us, the public, we're all dealing with the cancellations and the delays and the reduced number of routes and the panic from the remaining air traffic controllers who have been put in this situation by whatever is going on at Trump's FAA. We, the public, are wondering what it meant when these guys insisted on putting in Starlink at the FAA. They started inexplicably using equipment from the company run by the president's top campaign donor to supposedly upgrade our air traffic safety systems a few weeks ago without a normal contracting process, right after that same donor demanded the resignation of the head of the FAA. We're all left wondering, as the FAA is apparently no longer able to reliably keep air traffic control systems running at major airports, should we be worried that they did that right before this all started falling apart? I mean, that's how it's going for us, the flying public. But for him, awesome flying palace he gets to keep. So long, suckers. In the shadow of the plane debacle tonight, that sort of textbook example of how a kleptocracy works, where the guy at the top converts the assets and functions of the nation and its government for his own purposes, and everybody else gets nothing. Like, that's how kleptocracy works. In the shadow of that plane debacle still unfolding tonight, we've got another story for you this evening about Trump doing something for himself while apparently making sure that nobody else in the country can get that same thing. We've also got news tonight on Trump's apparently illegal efforts to fire people and shut down parts of the federal government that he doesn't actually control. He is, of course, the head of the executive branch, and that gives him a reasonable amount of power over what happens in the executive branch. But it doesn't give him power over the other branches of government, right? The other two branches are the courts and the Congress. How can you tell if some part of the government is not part of the executive branch and instead it's controlled by one of the other branches? Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's not that easy to tell, but sometimes it's right there. Sometimes it's in the name. When, for example, it's called the Library of Congress, that's a hint that it's of Congress. It's not the Library of the United States. It's certainly not the Library of the President. Can you imagine? No, it's the Library of Congress. That's a hint that that's part of the whole Congress thing. Trump has still purported to fire the Librarian of Congress, and he's trying to install people as staff beneath that top job as well. Today, some of those people turned up at the Library of Congress and demanded to be let inside. The staff said no. The staff at the Library of Congress said, no, you don't work here. They called their lawyers and they called the cops. And those officials that Trump had sent over to the Library of Congress to bust in, they did not get in. Trump, in the last several days, has tried to fire the director of the Copyright Office, which is housed at the Library of Congress. Also, the vice chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board. Also, the commissioners at the Consumer Product Safety Commission. I say he's tried to fire them because for some of these people, it really does not seem like he is legally allowed to fire them. We are going to talk tonight with one of them who is absolutely fighting back, is not going along with it, does not concede that she has been fired at all. And that's kind of the theme at this point, the fight back, which is understandable because if you look at the polls, they are not popular. And if you look at their actions, they are not smart. And if you look at the headlines, they are doing things that are flagrantly and obviously corrupt. And every single day, on top of being unpopular, unsmart and obviously corrupt, they are continually doing things that have zero constituency, doing things for which literally no one is in favor, except for the proverbial cartoon villain twirling his mustache somewhere. Right? I mean, the headlines just today: Trump administration halts research to help babies with heart defects. Who is the constituency for that? Who voted for that? Or this one: federal purge guts infant death prevention campaign. Alarming doctors. Yeah, who voted for that? Who wants that? Who's the constituency for that? That thing that Trump just did. Today, we learned that Trump cut off the funding for the medication used by horses that are ridden by national park rangers. Who's in favor of that? Seriously. He cut off the funding for toner cartridges for the printers at the Social Security Administration. Because, yeah, that's waste. That's fraud and abuse, right? That they can print. This comes after he plans to cut Narcan. Narcan does nothing except keep people alive if they overdose. He's cutting Narcan. This comes after he cuts Meals on Wheels. Who's against Meals on Wheels? It comes after he cuts Head Start preschool. Because who among us didn't think that the preschool kids were the ones who were getting it too good, and Making America Great Again was about putting them back a few notches? I mean, honestly, these guys every day are doing things that have zero political constituency, that do nothing other than harm the country and harm the people in this country who are least able to articulate for themselves the pain that Trump is causing them. Every day they are doing things that have zero political constituency, that obviously hurt the country, while they are already historically unpopular, making headlines for really radically flagrant corruption, and while there are already people in the streets protesting against them every single day of the week in every single state of the country. That is how we are starting the second 100 days of the Donald Trump presidency. Total debacle. Stay with us.
If you have heart failure or chronic kidney disease, Farxiga can help you keep living life.